Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. As said at the end of last episode, I am recording this one straight away, so let's just go ahead and unpause. We almost played a whole year in 30 minutes. I'm impressed. Because when I play this myself, I just leave it in free time speed, and I'll tell you what, it takes a long time to do anything. Right, we have our spy agency, so that should free up our civilian factories. We now have 7 building military factories. Very nice stuff. But more importantly, we can now... I'm not going to get any of the upgrades because it will cost us more civilian factories, which I can't really spare right now. What we can do, though, is recruit a spy. I know, it takes 29 days, right. Okay, let's just be patient. What I do need to do is, number 1, entice the masses when it comes off cooldown. But number 2, I'm going to recruit this guy, an elusive gentleman. Because it just means we can get another spy, which is going to be important for something later on. The Anti-Comintern Pact. Germany proposes that we sign a pact to address the Comintern's goal of spreading communism worldwide through the use of subversion and violence. By signing this pact, we agree to share intelligence of the communist threat and act in close cooperation against this menace. I mean, we don't want communism in Finland. And we've heard rumors that they want to reintegrate us and take away our independence. So, looking at the bigger picture, we will sign this pact with the Germans. Also, I think not making enemies with the Germans is a good idea as well. Fighting the Soviets and the Reich? Probably not a good idea. Right, let us continue. Only a few more weeks until we have this. We're gaining political power. We have Excavation 1 now as well. And I tell you, it's the 7th of January, so why don't we get Construction 2? We get another 10% construction speed and factory repair speed. This will come in use when we start getting bombed. Because you can destroy factories and whatnot. That sound tells me we can now recruit a spy. So who do we want? They are all Finnish. So we won't get any bonuses there. If we had a Russian spy, maybe we would get some bonuses. So let's see. You're tough. Enemy operative intel extraction rate minus 50%. And you are a demolition expert. Sabotage cost. Both of you... I guess we'll go with the demolition expert. Parlavon Matilla. I shall hire you as a spy. And I'm instantly gonna... tell you to, let's see, if I go to Moscow, I feel like we're going to get caught. Why don't you build an intelligence network over here? And what we're looking for here, we need it to get to 50%. Because then we can do something called form a collaboration government, and it means just when we fight the Soviets, we don't have to conquer as much territory to have them surrender, basically. Because if we look at the map here, I haven't zoomed out yet, the Soviet Union is bloody huge. And if you look at the supply is rubbish. Pushing into the Soviet territory sucks. Like, you can get to Moscow and maybe Stalingrad, but after that, it's almost impossible to push. So if we can get a few collaboration governments to make them surrender earlier, that's going to be a big help. We now have enhanced southern infrastructure. Very nice stuff. Let's get industrial development. That's going to give us more civilian factories. You guys can see what I'm doing here. Rather than building them, we're just going to get them from our focus. As the world becomes increasingly industrialized, Finland must keep pace if it is to become a major player on the global stage. The investments we make in our heavy industry will not only create jobs and stimulate the economy, but also provide the resources necessary to meet the challenges of the future. I do like reading the flavor text. I don't know why. It gets me averse. The League of Nations embargo resolution. What's this? The League of Nations Council has decided to impose an all-out embargo on trade with Italy as a response to the country's unlawful aggression against Ethiopia. The sanctions include any and all resources that can be used for the production of war equipment. They are to be imposed immediately and remain in place until the country ceases hostilities against Ethiopia. Right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't have spare resources to trade away anyway. I mean, we are exporting some steel, actually. How do I see who I export this to? I don't actually know. Huh. And we're exporting 1 chromium as well. Wait, no. Current exports nothing. Oh, no, we're not exporting. Okay. Yeah, we're not exporting anything, so, and we're not trading with Italy at all. Do you know what? It's the right thing to do. We gain a little bit of stability as well. Italy won't like that, but to be fair, they're not in a position to do anything about that. They're gonna have to worry about the Allies and whatnot in the future. And I'm gonna have to worry about the Soviets. Has Entice the Masses come off cooldown yet? No. Good news though, we have another military factory. So we have artillery, we have anti-air. Let's go ahead. We don't have anti-tank technology yet. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and put them on trucks, because we are going to need trucks. Trucks are going to help us deliver supply, because right now our armies are set on cavalry, which isn't going to cut it. But we'll wait until the war starts before we shift over all of that stuff. Right, continuing onwards. Build up the industry. Democracy has dropped to 9.4%, so when it dips below 9%, that should stop us losing public trust per day, which is nice. Presidential term has come to an end, though. Today marks the day that the embattled pair Svinhufvud must secure their place as president once again. Despite having served as president since 1931, so 6 years ago now, and having enjoyed an extensive record of popular rule, his standing was significantly diminished by refusing to include Social Democrats in the cabinet, breaking his promises to do so. This political forks pass severely hurt his chances at re-election, and we will find out today whether that is enough to topple Old Man Pete. Well, we do have a secret focus and we need this guy in control. So I'm gonna spend the 30 political power just to keep him in. And we don't have another election now for 6 years. So that should give us plenty of time to form the monarchy before we have to worry about this. Yes, we spend a little bit of political power, but it should be much cheaper in the long run doing it this way. Right. I did need political power though, didn't I? And public trust is getting scarily low. There's an anarchist uprising now in the Spanish Civil War. So Spain has split apart. I think we have the normal Spain here, and then we have the fascist Spain. What's this? We have unaligned Spain as well. Maybe if I was a bigger country, I could help them. But alas, I cannot. I don't even think I'm allowed to. Right. There's our anti-tank. Let's go back to industry. Production efficiency cap, maybe? Or factory output. Let's get machine tools. Let's go ahead and do that. We also have an upgrade for our towed equipment here. So let's see. Defense, breakthrough. I think defense is going to be good. So we get +3 defense for towed artillery, anti-tank, anti-air, and rocket artillery. I mean, we're going to be using the first 3 at least. So let's go ahead and do that. We can't update the current designs though. But what I can do is now get anti-tank into here. I think, actually, I will start making those. And... Can I not move this factory over here without deleting them? I mean, it's going to be the same anyway. Do you know, I'm going to delete the trucks and we're going to start producing anti-tank stuff. We are low on tungsten and steel though, but for now, just let it be. It's fine. Our factories are working a little less efficiently, but I can't spare the civilian factories right now. Right. Speaking of civilian factories, we just got more. Let's get the Bank of Aland next. One, it gets us closer to our research, but also we get 70 political power, which is huge. We gain base stability, which again, we need to get rid of these debuffs. It's lowering our political power gain, our factory output. Our dockyard output is not good. And we also gain the Bank of Aland, which grants consumer goods factories factor -15% for 730 days, which is huge. So let's do that. The Bank of Aland is a cornerstone of Finland's economy, providing stability and support necessary to drive growth and prosperity. By investing in the Bank of Aland, Finland is investing in its future, laying the foundation for a stronger, more prosperous nation. Sounds good. Almost reminds me of the Swiss gold, maybe. I think it's a similar icon, actually. I haven't played the Swiss, though. Their focus tree seems very complex. Right, we now have armored trains. Nice. Let's go ahead and get dispersed industry 2 for a whole load of positive modifiers there, which are all going to be very useful. It does say I can... armored trains. Well, I don't have enough factories right now, so we're going to hold off on this. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. I still can't do this. I guess if this isn't unlocked by the time we get to 150, then I would just hire the elusive gentleman, I think is the idea here. How's my spy network coming along? It's up to 40%. Once this gets to 50, I need to change him over. Ethiopia has finally capitulated. So it seems that the Italians were successful in their invasion. The Hindenburg disaster has now happened as well. The Chinese United Front has formed. But the US Congress has passed a Neutrality Act. Imagine if we were reading all these. I think that would be the rest of the bloody episode, wouldn't it? There is some cool stuff in there, though. I recommend reading it. Production is power. Build a certain number of new civilian or military factories. I mean, I will collect that medal, thank you very much. This is another thing, guys. You can collect medals and banners, and then you can put that onto your profile. It's very cool. Right, another military factory. Let's go ahead and start making the armored trains. I feel like you can never have enough trains once the war starts. Once we have one of everything being made, then I will start adding more factories. Because, yeah, I mean, we're only missing 5,000 guns now. 5,000 Finns are picking up sticks from the forest and fighting with those, it seems. Oh dear, does this give us political power? It does, nice, right. We can't get this because I need to research the computing machine. Fair enough. What can I get here? This gives me civilian factory and steel. We do need steel. This gives me synthetic refineries. I mean, I'm not going for tanks and whatnot, so this might not be important right now. Maybe later on. And this gives me a civilian factory, but 50% research bonus for electronics. If we take a look at our research, we do need the computing machine. So if we get a 50% bonus to that, we can... What we can do then is unlock our 4th research slot even faster. And this gives us another 75% research bonus for electronics. Yes, let's get the Vice radio tests. Why not? Under the guidance of Professor Wilhelm Weissaler, pioneering efforts in radio technology have paved the way for successful commercial production. Building upon the success of the first Finnish radio launch in 1931, continuous research and development have led to significant technological advancements. It's only going to take 35 days as well. Right. This is still on cooldown, so let us get us an elusive gentleman, and then in 30 days I can hire myself a second spy, and this guy's now at 58%, so I'm going to swap him over to a quiet intel network. What this does, he will maintain the network, but there's less chances of him getting caught, which, if there's one thing we don't want, is our spies getting caught and found out, because then they can't make the collaboration governments. Speaking of which, I need to change this. Let's lower garrisons, and I think for now we're max operations. And then also, speaking about our garrisons, let's swap them over to our cavalry, and for now just civilian oversight, because our garrisons, we're not going to have any problems here, not until we start taking Russian territory. Chibei-san, I think X is pronounced as a ch sound in Chinese, I forget. He has joined the Chinese United Front as well. A lot of stuff happening in China, and Amelia Earhart has disappeared. We actually did learn about her in school. Right, construction 2 has now been researched. Let's get excavation 2, because I'm still running low on steel. Yeah, if we can get the steel up at least, that would be nice. What you can do is trade 1 civilian factory for 8 of any resource. But if we're only -5, I would rather get my 4 money's worth for that civilian factory. So if it ever hits -8, then I would consider it. Right, a lot of stuff is happening. China, the people, Japan has declared war on China, basically. Right. So now a lot of crap is happening over here. Their invasion has begun. We'll keep an eye on that. We've also got some new radio technology. I think next we will get the Janiskoski power plant. Gives us even more civilian factories and steel, which we just saw we need. We will build a power plant in Janiskoski to provide reliable energy for the electric smelter of the Kolosjoki nickel mine and fuel the growth of the Petsamo area, which shall in turn spur an economic development in northern Finland. Right, let's go ahead and begin that. We also can get another spy. None of them have any special traits. Let's get Kersey. Why not? You're at the top of the list. And I'm going to have you also maintain this quiet network over here. In fact, what I could also do now, can't I already create a collaboration government? I can. So having a friendly government in charge of the Soviet Union would allow us to concentrate on our other enemies and free up troops to pursue other objectives. I can prepare this. So if I put them both onto this, we will lose our spy network here, so we're going to have to regenerate it to 50% after. It's fine though. So it's going to take 90 days. We need 200 support equipment. We need 2,000 guns. And I need to use 10 civilian factories over 60 days. Do I have those to spare? Not really. So we're only going to be using 9. And it's going to be a little bit less efficient, right? But I mean, I need to get this done. Yeah, I do. Let's put you back in. So does it tell us what happens here? So we deploy them via submarine, we train paramilitary forces, and then we pick them up by submarine as well. Agents will be delivered close to the shore by one of our submarines. We have already reconnoitered possible landing sites and the timing of enemy patrols to avoid detection. Our team will organize and train some units to aid the new government in maintaining law and order. Until the new government is organized, they will help with keeping the rear areas secured. Ah, so this is what all this is for, right? And then one of our submarines will be on station at a designated pickup point along the coast. Timing will be of the essence, as enemy naval patrols do cover the area. Right. Increase of collaboration in the Soviet Union by 30%. We will commence this when ready. Let's go ahead and prepare that. And the reason I've put operations at high, anything we make here now will first go into that operation, which we can... I guess we can keep an eye on here, right? As you can see, we already have some equipment going in there, and we already have some of this done. We just have to be patient. Higinio Molenigo has taken power in Paraguay. Oh, the pronunciation, guys. I can't help it. I can't help it. Right. We can entice the masses again. We just need the political power. That will also... Oh, we're no longer losing trust every day, look. Because this is under 9%. Nice. If I can get both of these to under 1% though, which this might do, because it gives us 10% support for underlined, that would take us up to 98%. Oh, it will be close. Then we might start gaining public trust every day. That's the ideal situation. Right, improved machine tools. Very nice. Do I want this? Improved equipment conversion. Equipment conversion speed plus 40%. What I think this is as you unlock, let's say we get improved artillery, I think it upgrades this to this much faster. I mean, either way it sounds useful, so I'm gonna get it anyway. My understanding might be off a little bit though. I'm relying on you guys somewhat to aid me here. Right, let's entice the masses again. And as we can see, we do in fact have less than 2% support for communism and democracy, which means we should gain public trust every day. Let's just wait a couple of days to see if that happens. We now have more steel and civilian factories. Very nice. Let's expand the Imacha hydropower plant. This would give us more civilian factories and also more steel. The Imacha hydropower plant, established in 1922, has proven to be a reliable source of energy for Finland's growing industry. With the expansion of its 5th and 6th machines, the plant's capacity will only increase, enabling further industrial growth in the Kimi region. Interesting stuff there. Right. Are we gaining public trust yet? It doesn't say that we are on the UI, which concerns me a little bit. Oh no, we need less than 1%. Right, yeah, and democracy is still at 1.10. But it is decreasing, so soon we will start gaining public trust. Very nice. Okay, we have the power plant. I'm not going to get this because I don't need synthetic refineries, although this would be nice. And we're kind of locked out here. We have... What's this saying? We have 20% world attention, I think, here. Yeah, 20% at the moment. We can't do this because we don't have construction 4. We can't do this because of world tension. We could start doing this. However, I think... Let's start going down the military because we can still get some industry stuff here. We just need to come down this path to connect them. Right, increase the military budget. We get 2 50% research bonuses for infantry, weapons, support artillery, trucks, support technology, aircraft, and ships. We also gain a military factory as well. The nation's security is of utmost importance. By increasing military funding, the defense forces will be well equipped and better prepared to withstand any potential threats. Very nice stuff. Very nice. Oh, 1937 as well. We're 2 years away from the Winter War. We have almost played now for 2 years as well. So we're halfway to the war, guys. Dispersed Industry 2. Very nice. Industry has caught up, so we won't do any more until 1939. We do have that 50% reduction to computing machine. It's still ahead of time a little bit. Well, 172 days, I think is fine. So let's go ahead and start researching that. That will raise our research speed even more as well. So I forgot to read the buff there, but you guys can go back. We'll also see it after. Right, civilian factories. We've built everything we started at the beginning. Let's get more military factories. We're never going to have enough. At some point... At some point, as you can see here, yeah, supply is an issue. We're also going to want to build supply hubs here, maybe even down here. And I'm going to want to build land forts to help us defend this. When do I want to start that? Not too late. Yeah, not too late. I'm also going to need to build some infrastructure because we have a focus down here. If we have 5... states with at least 3 infrastructure, we get a civilian factory in each one and 2 building slots, which right now I think, let's see, we have 1, 2, only 3 places with 3 infrastructure. I could build it like here to raise resources, but it would take longer. I'm thinking I just build like quick infrastructure there and there. I do have a 20% buff right now for building infrastructure. So I'll tell you what. I'm actually going to build those now, just to get it over with. But we can always do that later. Wait, when does this buff run out? March 1939. No, when it gets to March, I'm going to be wanting to build forts and whatnot. So let's do the infrastructure now, so I just don't have to worry about it later. We do have a spare military factory. I think everything here is being made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, we need to put trucks back on here. Right. Let's get the trucks being made here. Efficiency is low, but that's because we're missing resources. Steel? Steel's back in the positive though. So our focuses have helped us out a lot there. Right. Next, we are going to want 200 political power because I need a chief of army, and of course I want Mannerheim because he's a genius. He's going to give us a lot of daily XP. France and Britain have announced an alliance. The Germans, let's see what they think about that. We now have increased military budget as well. That's going to help our research and whatnot. Let's get the Suman Mavoimat. It's going to give us some army experience. It's going to give us 100% research bonus for infantry, weapons, support technology, artillery, and trucks, or a 75% cost reduction for land doctrine. Oh, that's nice. We got a military factory, And we get a Finnish army modifier, which gives us 5% more experience gain, 5% reinforcement rate. So when we fight, our divisions will join the fight quicker. We get cold acclimatization gain factor plus 5% because climate and temperature is a thing in this game. And we also gain command spirit cost minus 10%. Is that this stuff? Spirit of division? I think it's these things here, which we can spend army experience on to get even more buffs. This game is very in-depth. I love it, but there's a lot going on. Right. Let's go ahead and do that. That's going to take 70 days. We must enhance the capabilities of the Finnish defense forces by investing in the research of new military equipment and modernizing training facilities to ensure the readiness in the face of any potential threat. Let us go ahead and do that. How much political power? I'm going 0.8 per day. We just got another military factory as well. Oh, because I'm still building military factories. Right, because I queued them up, didn't I? I tell you what, I'm going to cancel those ones just because I want the infrastructure, but I will finish this one because I've already put some resources into that. And I guess, what's our logistics saying? Yeah, we're missing guns. So let's go ahead and put another factory onto our guns there. We're definitely going to need those. Our factories, we now have 14 civilian factories. We started with 7, so we've effectively doubled our industry there, which is very nice. We have 8 military factories. We started with 3, so we've more than doubled that. If we take a look at someone like the Soviets, though, I think if you go to here, you can see they have 88 to 137 factories. Their industry is far superior to ours. So we're going to have to somehow make superior divisions. And for the first time, we are gaining manpower. Right. That's good. That means all of my divisions here at least have all the manpower they need. Let's go ahead and train you as well. I'm going to want 6 more divisions. So let's train some of those. Hopefully, I mean, we can deploy them early if we can get them 20% trained. And we'll worry about the equipment later. Sweden is going to help us with that. Right, another military factory. I think I'm actually going to stick them on support equipment because we're going to go through a lot of that as well. Especially as we get some special things we can add to our divisions later. Speaking of which, I need to edit my divisions as well. Well, I don't have army experience. I need to do so much, but we just don't have anything. Right. We now have excavation too. Very nice. Do I need anything in engineering? Radio will be useful, and we have a 50% reduction, so let's just get it. So we get more reinforcement, we get coordination. This will also let us add radio to our tanks and stuff if we ever do decide to build them in the future. There is a possibility. We now have the Suman movement, I'm just going to call it. Let's go over here. So we now get Outokumpu for defense industry. This would give us a civilian factory, a military factory, and 6 more steel. Investing in the National Metal Industry Company, Outokumpu Oy, will help increase Finland's defense readiness. The establishment of a domestic metal factory in Pori and a copper electrolysis plant to refine raw copper will bring self-sufficiency to Finland's copper and brass production. We also have our cost reduction to doctrine. So, the way this works, there are 4 branches of land doctrines. You can only pick one, and you get a lot of buffs for a specific army style. So mobile warfare, as you can imagine, I mean, it even says mobile warfare is a focus on speed and maneuver to cut off and disorganize enemy forces. Problem is, I'm not going to be using tanks and whatnot, so this doesn't make sense. Superior firepower. This doctrine focuses on throwing shells, not men, at the enemy. Our manpower is precious, bullets are cheap. This is the one I'm going for. We do not have manpower, and this will buff our artillery and stuff like that. Grand battle plan. So extensive planning and preparation before engaging in battle is the key to success. I think this one's kind of okay for us as well, but again, I'm just going to go artillery. And then mass assault is good for someone like the Soviets, perfect weapons are overrated. A large number of good enough weapons is the path to victory. And I think this just buffs the infantry and whatnot. I don't know. I've never used it, but if we look at the Soviets, I mean, they have, like, they have, what's this? Nearly 400 divisions? No, that's trucks. Where do I see divisions? Was it in here? They have 77 to 200 divisions, and they have a spare 1 million population. If we look at Finland, we have no spare manpower, and we only have 18 divisions. So that doesn't work for us. Anyway, let's get superior firepower. So this gives all frontline battalions soft attack plus 10%, and we also get a new tactic called suppressive barrage. That's going to cost us 25 army experience there. I believe tactics are done in here, but we'll look at that later. Right, 120 political power. We are now gaining trust as well. Look, we've gone to 58%. So that's good. It's blue. It means it's going to the right. Very nice. We have another military factory as well. How are we getting these? I don't know. I'm going to put this one in guns as well because, yeah, we're missing 9,000 now for some reason. Because we're training new divisions. That's why we need a lot more guns. Makes sense. Yes, it does. Can we deploy any of these yet? No, because we just simply don't have enough manpower, even for one. We need 6,000 manpower, and we've only got 1,200 in there. Right, we now have improved equipment conversion. Very nice. Let's see, we're getting computing machine, 48 days left on that. We're getting radio. We won't need this because it's for ships. Let's go to our artillery. We have a 100% research bonus to this. Let's improve the artillery. This would give us more soft attack, 10% in fact, which I realize I'm saying all of these things. Soft attack is one of the stats here. So how many attacks the unit can make versus enemies with low hardness? Low hardness just means non-tanks, basically. So humans. The higher soft attack, the more damage we would do against infantries and whatnot. So it's very important, actually. Even if we're defending, we kind of want to kill them. As you can see, the Soviets are now lining up, and they do have tanks. I don't have tanks. There's nothing I can do about that. And on that note, the Indian National Congress has triumphed, and I'm going to have to wrap up part 2 there. We are now in February 1938. Less than 2 years before the Winter War. We're still going to build up. Hopefully we can get Mannerheim. We can start customizing our template soon. We can start building the forts and whatnot. But guys, this is going to be interesting. I'm nervous. Again, if you want to see more Hearts of Iron 4, remember, leave a like. Even a comment if you really want to. No pressure though. And of course, any gameplay tips, leave them in the comments as well. I'm probably going to record another episode after this because I'm having a lot of fun. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching as always. I will see you next time.